Nice.
We are live once again, folks, through the magic of Wi-Fi. We bring you the Squared Circle Maniacs podcast, which you'll see every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And Motor, what time is it where you're at right now on the West Coast?
We're looking at 1:03 p.m. Pacific Surf Time, baby.
1:03 p.m. Don, how you doing over in your neck of the woods?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty good over here. Happy to have this yard cut today. Did a lot of yard work this morning. Got a response back from Missy Beefcake last night. So that was unexpected with the leathery skin of a armadillo, I guess is the only way I can describe her. But yeah, that was odd. That was an odd night.
Lovely Missy Beefcake. What does she have to say?
She just said, "Hey, big sexy," and I was like, "Well, that's nice, but I'm still taking my shot, and here it comes." If you're gonna talk shit about the great Hulk Hogan, I'm coming in hot, lady. Kind of like that lower discharge she had.
Nice. Folks, you usually see us on Totem Pole Nation's YouTube channel, and we opted to go on our own way. We have the Squared Circle Maniacs YouTube channel set up. That's what you're watching this on right now. We put the word out in advance all day today. Some of it yesterday, last night also. It was a Don, would you care to elaborate on this?
Just want to say thanks to them. You know, they showed us how to set this up. They sent us on our way. We just decided it was time to step out on our own and do this on our own. And thank you, Totem Pole Nation. You know, still follow you, still going to support you guys, but we just felt like it was time for us to go in our own direction and stand on our own 2 feet and see what we got with this damn thing.
That's right.
Yes,
we wish him well and, you know, better things for a better tomorrow. So let's get into it, Don. Where are we going to start off with?
I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Ricky Morton this week, again, a few years later, because he made the same claim a few years ago, said he won the World Heavyweight title from one Ric Flair. Did you guys see that this week?
Yes.
Go ahead, Motor.
Yes, I did see his comments and hear them this week. And the more and more, you know, I got nothing bad to say about the guy, but, you know, one of my favorites growing up with the Rock and Roll Express. And but I am finding out the more I hear things and see things and read things, sometimes the stories don't match up, if that makes any sense. So
I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
So he said he won it from Ric Flair in Richmond, Virginia, which is about 8 miles up the street from where I currently live. I heard a lot of stuff that happened in that building, in that Coliseum. I have never once in my life heard from a fan that attended the event that Ricky Morton walked out of the ring with the title. Now, I'm sure it was one of what they call them, the dusty finishes, where there's a screw job at the end and then the ref overturns it. I'm not saying that couldn't have happened, but I'm not for a minute going to believe Ricky Morton out here strutting his stuff, talking about, I won the world title. And the reason he says he didn't hold on to it was because they were going to break up the Rock and Roll Express. And then he took a bunch of cheap shots at Dusty Rhodes saying he didn't push him and he didn't like him and this and that. And I'm like, dude, you guys are on my TV for like 5 years in main event singles matches and main event, you know, tag team matches. What are you talking about, man? What the hell are you talking about, Ricky?
Ricky Morton hasn't. He's never won the NWA title or WCW title from Ric
Either.
Flair. That never happened. Well, maybe on a house show.
That's some good stuff.
As wrestlers get older, their stories get grander and grander, like old gunfighters telling stories in a saloon, says Mike Digital. And he's right about that. Maybe Ricky Morton wrestled Ric Flair and could have been a DQ, so Ricky won the match, but he never won the belt. It could have been a draw, time limit draw. They did a lot of those in the day, where Ric Flair would wrestle in the main event for 1 hour, and a lot of times it would be a 1 hour Broadway ending in a draw. So, be that what it is, these guys like to rewrite history. I think they get a little banged in the head. I don't think Ricky is approaching Marty Jannetty levels of mashed potatoes for brains, but he is an older gent. and he's got to make that child support. Ricky Morton, the urban legend is, he left a sea of children across the continental United States.
That's what I've heard as well.
He sowed his seed, and all these women came out of the woodwork, suing him for alimony and child support. So he constantly had to work to pay all these women off. You always hear about Ric Flair and all his divorces and children and child support and alimony and everything he has to pay out. But Ricky Morton, the king of child support back in the day. I'm sure since he's an older gent now, he's probably, 65? Who knows?
I don't know, man. I mean, he was slinging that thing all over in all 50 states. My man had a traveler's pass to that thing. So
it took its own seat in airplanes, from what I've understood. Yeah.
Here's to him. Here's to Ricky.
God bless Ricky Morton. If he's still doing it, God bless him.
He never saw what he wouldn't go down on.
That's right.
Did you guys happen to watch I'm gonna get right into it. Dynamite.
Oh shit. Dude. God, can we just
I tried and I couldn't finish it. 20 minutes in, I went out.
That Jeff Jarrett match, I understand that Missy Beefcake came out in the middle of all that with a chainsaw. Is that true? Was Missy there?
She was. I saw her. Oh, wait, no, that was Leatherface, not leather pants. Got it.
That's right.
My bad.
That's right.
Yeah, not leather tits. Leatherface.
I thought maybe
that was
Brutus
something
needed the
else.
money, and she came in.
Hear the term scraping the bottom of the barrel.
We're past that
That
now.
reminded me of right there. Right there.
You want to know what I knew it was going to go to shit? What did they lead off with?
Orange.
Do you remember bottles?
It's Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy. If you're going to put that son of a bitch on my TV, I'm going to find another channel. I tuned back. Ooh, boy.
Go ahead. I'll let you rant. And then
15 minutes later, I turned back on, right? And they're all the heels are in there kicking the shit out of the baby faces. The Blackpool Combat Club's in there. And here comes Eddie Kingston, sauntering down to the ring in his best version of what a fucking run is. It was crazy looking. The little hands going like a little damn. He looks like a little Super Mario Brothers character, man. Like in Super Mario Brothers 3.
For Fred Sanford of AEW came running to the ring, in other words.
Dude.
Eddie Kingston.
Then they had a brawl in the ring that I can only describe as a third grade knockdown dragout. It looked about to be the fakest punches I've ever seen in my life ongoing in the ring at the time. It was sad. It was pathetic. I changed the channel again. I couldn't stand what I was seeing. As a wrestling fan, I took a shower. I felt so dirty. I showered like in the Crying Game. I just sat down and cried.
Oh, my God, Don. That's bad.
I felt like that character in that movie. If you ever saw The Crying Game, ladies and gentlemen, Google that shit. You'll enjoy that plot twist. Twist! Want to see my dong?
Not like I see dead people. I see dead people. I see a ding dong. Yes. It was right up.
Yeah, that was
right
ridiculous,
up there.
you guys. That was totally
and it wasn't Ricky Morton size either. It was just.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Anyway, Ricky Morton. Jordan Harris says, "Hang on, Ricky Morton is 67 years old.
Good for him, man.
And still got the rope. That a boy.
Still got it. He still got it. And
I'm back.
For the ladies, he was the Rock and Roll Express. Yeah, he was. Google Eye.
He was.
Google Eye didn't have much to do.
That's right, Dwan. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Google Eye was in charge of the hot tag. He got the hot tag all the time. After the heels worked over Ricky Morton for a half hour.
Yes.
Did you see the next meaningful segment on the show? I know Motorhead was out, so that's fine.
Well, but let me say one thing. One thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
They started with Orange Cassidy, 930,000 viewers.
Oh, you got the numbers. Okay.
Yes. And by the time the show was over with that shit fest that they had.
Can I make a guess? Can I make a guess?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say 770.
700,000.
Shut the front door.
God.
700,000. Yeah. 930 down to 700,000. You average it out. What did he do? Another 875? That's with the DVR numbers. 875,000 people watched it. Not looking good going into the biggest show in this company's history, which is going to be in 1 week. 1 week from today, I believe.
Yeah.
The Wembley show. 90,000 tickets sold.
About like the card coming up for, especially the show in London and stuff like that. And you, especially on Twitter, you read the comments and see what some people are saying. You know, we know the AEW fans. We know how they'll do whatever they can to support that stuff. But the majority of the comments are like, "Wow, you know, just what's been leaked out. They're not excited. They're not excited. They're going to sell that place out just because it's something new over there. You know, AEW is brand new. Going to go to that giant arena and do their stuff." But as far as the wrestling fans, a lot of them are still like, dude, we're going to pay this much for this, and half of them we still don't know. Kind of a weird tactic to me.
It's easy to sell out, Motor, when the tickets are $10.
Yes.
And if you their last big show they put on, I forgot the name of the pay-per-view. They all escape me, but the last big show they put on, they had a deal with a local fast food company that was a chain where if you bought $10 worth of food, they would give you a free ticket to an AEW event. That pay-per-view. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of hijinks like that. Yeah, a lot of hijinks like that are taking place over there in London. I guarantee it. But anyway, what do you got next on?
So then you saw the next segment, I believe, because like I said, if you're going to put pockets on the show and lead off with that, I'm not going to take you serious as a wrestling show that I should be watching and paying especially close attention to. I'm just go to hell. You've lost me already for the first 30 minutes. But here comes Kenny Omega in an interview with Jim Ross.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you saw this or not.
I did see this. And it was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Jim Ross looked like he just spilled his last pint of vodka. And he's upset about that. And he looks like he's about to fall off his chair. And Omega, the acting of Kenny Omega was it looked like he looked like the refrigerator repairman in a bad porn film. That's what his acting level was.
I'm here to fix the refrigerator, yeah. And did you see when they were hitting him with the pipe, like it was nailing the ground at least a full foot before it was hitting him to make the noise that it wasn't lining up? And the shot of JR, looking so depressed he had to be there. Holy shit. Can we give a shout out to JR? I'm so sorry you're there, buddy. He looked so sad to be in that segment. It was the saddest I've ever seen JR in my life. He couldn't wait to get to Saturday night and get the hell away from this bullshit he was getting encased in, man. It was terrible. He's never going to get the stench of that off of him.
Motorhead, wouldn't you agree that JR's best days in commentary are way, way, way behind him? But you got to feel sorry for the guy. Putting him through this. When he knows, when he's part of the event, he's part of what's going on around him. And his whole demeanor is crying out, man, this really sucks.
Yeah. You know, it's almost painful sometimes to watch him because deep down, you know, the guy's thinking to himself, man, look at all the matches I've commentated. Look at all the stuff I've done in the past. And now this is what I'm left with at the legacy part of my career. I got to deal with this horse shit. It's like, come on, man. And I feel bad for the guy because I have mad respect for JR. Loved him shit from the time I was a little guy, you know, and he's done well in the business and done everything he could. But seeing him like that, it's depressing. It is. You can see it in his face too. You really can. It's sad.
I wonder if, the NWA is an internet-based show.
Yes.
I would think that style would be more to his liking. But obviously they can't pay him the amount of money that he's asking for, his asking price. It boggles my mind that I got to give Tony Khan credit in one thing. They found a place for him. He's got a spot on that show. They didn't have to. They were slowly phasing him off of Dynamite. And
well, he didn't fit though, Bottles. Like he doesn't fit that show. You've got a Mook in a mask, and you've got Taz, and you've got Slapstick over there going, "Well, I'm just so goddamn happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here."
Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, that's all he ever says. I'm so happy to be here. This is amazing.
He says one more thing.
Amazing. That's it. Yeah.
It's he does yell that half the time.
The whole thing. I'm done. I'm done with it. The whole segment, and I'm not going to bullshit you. I couldn't stand much more of this show, but there was one part that got my attention. I said, I got to watch this. Did you see the Cuban Assassins' illegitimate children in a tag team match against Nick Wayne? and Darby Allin? Did you see that?
Yes. That was painful to watch.
Here's my question, okay? Those guys looked the part, right? The Cuban Assassin illegitimate kids.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to call them? We got to call. I don't know what the hell their name was. I've seen them on there before, but I mean, they're big bastards.
You can call them the Cuban Assassininos.
That's fine. I'll just call them C2 and C3.
C2 and C3.
Yes.
Like thing 1 and thing 2. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that one big bastard absolutely threw out some vertebrae in that match when he let Darby or Nick Wayne give him a hurricane or whatever the hell it was, have a corona off the side of the apron onto the floor. Someone explained to me in the ideology of wrestling when a 250 or 70-pound man should be taking that move from a 160-pound strawweight guy. How does that make anybody look good or believable? It looked like ass. As soon as it happened, I said, okay, man.
Terrible.
All right. You've got two guys on the show. They had two guys on that show that got my attention that looked like some tough guys, that looked like some actual wrestlers, that looked like they would beat your ass if you said something wrong to them. And we got them flipping off the side of the apron like a trampoline act.
They've got acts like Brian Cage. They got the Gates of Agony, two big guys. They've got what's this? Trying to think of their names. The Butcher and the Blade.
Oh boy, that's
whatsoever. They look like an old school WCW Saturday Night Tag Team.
Yes, exactly.
When you see them now, you know they're jobbing.
Yeah.
When you see their sidekick, the Bunny, their valet, gonna wrestle somebody, you know she's jobbing out. I just don't understand it. Indie-rific Dwayne Harris.
He's right on the spot.
Am I pronouncing it correctly?
100%.
Indie-rific.
100%.
Dwan. I'm sorry, Dwan. I pronounced your name wrong. I apologize.
I mean, he's exactly right. It's exactly what it was. We got 250, 70-pound grown men flipping off the side of the apron because we've got a new indie darling. And I just said, okay, what the hell's next? And then it happened, Bottles, and here it came.
And it's not going to change, guys. It's not going to change. This booking, they've had plenty of opportunities to do something different. They tried with Collision, and Collision hasn't done that well. It started out okay, but now it's like you can see they're not going to learn. They're just going to keep doing it their way, regardless of how the rest of the public, besides the AEW fans, feel about it.
Right. That's the way it's going to talk. That's the way it's going to be laid out. Take a look at the comment from Mike Digital regarding NWA Power. Zicky Dice and I used to talk a lot, and the money he told me the Corgans NWA stars were getting was less than you can make at McDonald's.
I'm not surprised.
Probably $100 a shot, $150 a shot, maybe for a big name, $200.
It's an internet show. Like, you're not going to go very far with an internet show. You've got to get some TV money. I'm not in the business, and I know that. But on the AEW show, Bottles, it happened next, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The Texas Chainsaw match, the match to look. So the WWE, I wasn't watching a couple of years ago very much at all when they did that zombie apocalypse bullshit match with. I don't even know who was in it, and I'm not going to go down that road.
It was Miz versus Morrison, wasn't it? They had a falling out, and it was a zombie apocalypse match.
I have no idea, and I don't care. I read about it, and all I thought was, I'm so glad I didn't see that. I am legitimately upset I saw this shit.
They were promoting a Zack Snyder movie that was on Netflix. Vince had some sort of endorsement deal with Netflix at the time. So he was pushing that. I forgot. Just if anyone out there knows the name of that movie that was on Netflix. Dave Bautista was in it, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. But he couldn't be brought in. He couldn't be bothered to be brought in.
Yeah, let's not bring him in to actually do the match.
No, come on. No.
Yeah. So after that, man, the Texas match has been reviewed enough as it is. I don't think we need to go into it. I just want to say it sucked. It was the worst thing I've seen.
Horrible.
The fake blood pouring, Karen Jarrett screaming. Why is Jeff Jarrett covering his career in this shit? Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Jeff Jarrett fan to begin with. I've never really cared for his mic work. He can wrestle. I never said he couldn't. But that character has just never got the last outlaw. Bitch, you are 60 years old. You are 60 years old. You a little old to be talking about I'm the last outlaw. What are we?
Well, Jeff Jarrett still looks good. He can still work. He can still cut a promo, which is better than 75% of the AEW roster.
Sure.
So he knows how to work. He knows how to get heat. He's good at that. He has a backstage role, director or VP, I believe, of live events. And they're not doing too good on the live events, folks, because they move everybody from the hard cam side, the camera that they all play to.
Yeah.
Or when you see ring introductions, the stationary camera that sits right there and gets a wide view of the ring. Generally, at an AEW show, those seats are all empty on that side of the arena. They move everybody. It was more apparent on Collision from this Saturday night. Someone posted on Twitter some shots. And
I saw that.
Yes, it's horrible.
So
that one thing about that match real quick that I did go back and watch it because I saw all the stuff on Twitter about it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I went back, watched, and I was like, yep, it's everything that it shouldn't be in pro wrestling. And I got to throw out a personal thing. I felt bad because Corporal Kirshner was Leatherface back in IWA Japan in the early 90s. And nobody said a word about that. You know, he used to team up with Gangrel when he was the Vampire Warrior. I thought that was a slap in the face. The man's dead. And no one said nothing. I mean, people copy each other's gimmicks all the time all over the world. But for them to not even acknowledge the fact that Corporal Kirshner was Leatherface at one time, that was overseas, I thought it was 100% bullshit.
And DeJuan Harris just said that was some corny Memphis stuff. And that was a page right out of the USWA down in Memphis. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jarrett created that whole match and booked it himself.
I wouldn't either. I would not either.
He did.
But
down in Memphis, they used to have Frankenstein, a guy in a Frankenstein mask, and the outfit walk out to the ring, and he wrestled with the Frankenstein mask on. They had Freddy Krueger. They had Jason.
Yeah, I remember
a
Freddy.
guy in a hockey mask. Lawler used to book all that shit for the USWA down in Memphis. And it was.
And let's not forget RoboCop in, what was that, 90?
In WCW.
Yep.
Capital Combat.
Capital Combat, baby.
Yes.
So we got to see Jeff Hardy on that show. But speaking of parties, did you see we got more drama? Got more drama. Did you guys happen to catch that this week? Got some drama. Everybody's being bitchy.
AEW? Is it regarding a Hardy?
Oh, you know it is, baby.
It's got to be Matt.
Matt Hardy came out about some of these guys not being on Collision because CM Punk sent some guys home last week. Turns out.
He did.
So Matt Hardy said karma comes around. Does that explain him taking that scaffold shot when he fell off and busted his brain open? Was that karma, Matt Hardy? Because if that was karma, you definitely got yours right there, buddy. And then, and this is the one that I had to take this down. Hangman Page, right? The internet darling sensation. He's one of the AEW favorites. This guy said, my kink is karma. Even when he tweets, he's corny as shit. Nothing about that guy says cowboy. Why does he keep being called the cowboy? My kink is karma. My kink is karma. That's it. That's your quote. Get the.
Yes, I feel your pain, Don. I feel your pain on that one. Definitely, man. That was
Motor. Have you heard? Have you heard about the Hangman Page situation?
Recently, what I did read, the fact that he had the little problem backstage with CM Punk and his buddy, and he told them to leave because they weren't invited to be there because they're not on the damn show. And then, of course, CM Punk makes a few comments about his his figures. He went to a supermarket.
That's it.
And his figures were not selling. They were up. He was a peg holder, I believe it was. He said,
yes, peg warmer. Peg
warmer. He was a peg warmer, which I can attest to that because I was over in Walmart 2 weeks ago with my family, and there was a shit ton of Hangman Adam Page figures up there. A lot. I'm like, yeah, wow. And then when Punk said that, I was like, that's straight up. He's not trying to filch anybody. That's straight up truth.
Mike Digital might be onto something there. He says so, Brokeback Adam Page is a better name. I'll go with that because he ain't a cowboy. He ain't a cowboy.
That's right. That's right. There's no way in hell he's a cowboy.
Butterfly jeans.
The company knows that Punk and Adam Page have heat, major nuclear heat. And when the whole thing went down at All Out last year between the Young Bucks and Omega and Ace Steel, Punk's buddy, who, by the way, has been reemployed. He's been reemployed at AEW as an agent. And he got all his back pay. He's reemployed. And he got all his back pay from when he was suspended or as they say, let go. But it's technically a suspension now because they rehired the guy and brought him back. Got paid all his back pay. He takes care of all Punk's segments, all Punk's matches. He's the agent on those things. And what he does is sits there in gorilla position, what an agent does, wears the headset, and communicates with the referee anything he needs to tell the wrestlers. That's what the whole thing is like. Hey, we're going to commercial now. Stall. And they stall. The referee whispers to both of them. And go home. We're short on time. Go home. He tells them all to go home.
Oh, we got to go home? All right, guys, that was fun.
That's it. So they send Page to Collision to cut a promo, to tape a promo regarding a match that's coming up on Dynamite. Now, I think the whole thing was a rib on Page to send him there in the den of CM Punk to show his face at that arena. They right as he went in the door, they got him right away and said, "No, don't come in here. Don't come in here."
How does this happen? Like, seriously, like, how?
Because you let the inmates run the asylum. That's how that stuff happens right there, guys. You know that. Tony Khan has no control over his people.
You're exactly right.
He just has money.
The head of talent relations is Christopher Daniels, the fallen angel. In-ring competitor, semi-retired right now. You may see him on Ring of Honor television, which is web-based also from time to time on their website.
I won't see it. You might. I don't watch
shit. I don't watch that. But anyway, at any rate, Christopher Daniels got sent home. Punk wouldn't let him in either.
Yep, I saw that too.
And Ryan Nemeth, who is the legit brother of Dolph Ziggler, he showed up. And when Punk came back
and did his promo
to Collision, did his initial promo, he was talking about how Warner Brothers Discovery they're betting on Punk
because the counterfeit bucks.
He's not like two counterfeit bucks.
Yep.
And Ryan Nemeth posted on Twitter, the softest man alive, with, I think, a picture of CM Punk. So CM Punk, as soon as he saw Ryan Nemeth, because it's the first time he was on Collision, he was supposed to do the job to who did Brock Anderson do the job?
It don't even matter.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter.
They Brock Anderson and Arn Anderson filled that spot. Ryan Nemeth was on his way. He's like getting ready to get dressed, and Punk walks over and says, "We got a problem? Is there a problem between you and me? We need to take it outside."
Do you think that CM Punk gave him like the old 80s and 90s umpire treatment? Gave the old bow and arrow, you're out! Get the hell out of my building, bitch! Get the hell out of here!
Get the hell!
I do think he was nose to nose with him, from what
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it. He had him back up against the locker.
Out of here now. Yes.
Had him back up against the locker. Wonder if there's any problems. If there is, are we still good, or we need to take this outside? He was going to slap him around.
Yeah, good.
Said, nope, everything's fine. And they sent him on his way. Why don't you just get out of here? Sent him back.
Mm-hmm. So I saw that. I also saw one last thing about the Punk thing was Darby Allin got upset because CM Punk would not let him use real glass in a match.
Wasn't Darby Allin.
Well, was it? Okay. I didn't see who it was. I thought it was
Jungle Boy.
Jungle Jack. That's it. Yes. Okay. I knew it was one of the little. Look, dude, they're all 150 pounds and they all look the same. So excuse me if I get a couple of them confused.
I agree with you on that.
This happened 6 weeks ago on the first collision. Jungle Jack Perry was going to do an angle, and it was going to involve somebody getting launched through real glass like a moron. And Punk said, "You're not going to do that now. What are you, out of your mind?" That's all you need to have somebody lacerate a major artery on live television.
A real 2-inch thick pane of glass, no problem. Yeah, no one's ever seen that before. Shit.
Larry goes,
XZW.
Punk was Earl Weaver.
Punk was Earl Weaver, Motorhead. That's what Larry says.
Scooping the dirt with the cleats. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, nice. That boy, Larry.
But that's it. I wanted to comment on that this week because I saw those comments. I was like, man, you gotta be shit. And if you're gonna come at CM Punk, you better have some clout. You better be a little bit high on the totem pole, so to speak, before you start swinging that axe at him.
Absolutely.
At Brawl Out, they call Brawl Out. The All Out from last year, they called it Brawl Out because of the fight that took place backstage. And when he did that media scrum, he says, "I feel like I'm working with teenagers. I feel like I'm working with children."
Yeah.
He says, I got a business. He says, quote, I've got a business I've got to run. So that leads me to believe, since he's not released, he's not fired, he didn't have his pay cut, he's calling the shots. CM Punk has some sort of VP role behind the scenes in this company, just like Omega, just like the Young Bucks. He's a VP.
Is that our
can't
Booker
tell me,
Collision, guys?
What's that?
Is that our Booker and Collision? Like we've
I
always
think he's a lot of that show. Yes,
he's got his thumb on the heartbeat of what's happening there. I'm 100% convinced
Yes,
of that,
sir.
and I have been for a while. And having this come out only confirms what I thought. That CM Punk show, FTR. FTR.
FTR. We haven't brought up FTR.
Oh. Somebody's got a gun and is pissed off on the road.
He's
road rage.
Those guys,
Lord.
FTR, are students of old school professional wrestling.
Yes, they are. I love them.
Because
I love them.
Me too.
back in the day when you're riding down a road and somebody's from the arena is following you and you're a heel and they ran you out of the arena because they would have kicked your ass because they believed it back then. Guys like Cornette, guys like Blackjack Mulligan, guys like probably
Ted DiBiase when he turned on JYD. Yeah.
They pull out a piece and hold it out the window saying, back off, and people would back off. And I guarantee in this road rage incident, he probably had some people following him who knew who he was. They followed him from the arena for whatever reason, maybe to chase him down to the motel to have him sign a bunch of shit. And he pulled the gun out and said, back the hell off.
You want to know what I think?
What's that?
I think he had just seen a Cactus Jack match from the 90s that got carried away.
Bang, bang.
Was in his car. Bang, bang!
Bang, bang.
Rolling down I-95. Bang, bang! Just out the window, and anybody that would look at him. You want some too? I'm Cactus Jack, bitch!
Well, I'll tell you what, if he was followed, like Bottles was saying there, I don't think it was like a regular AEW fan, because they wouldn't have the sands to do anything like that as far as trying to get somebody like that pulled over. Because they couldn't handle the heat.
He'll have his day in court. I just wanted to bring it up because he got arrested. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I wasn't a fly on the wall. The only concern I had was him going to England for that title match because of all the travel restrictions. And I'm not saying he's built or anything like that, but if he's going to go to England, I know there are laws in place now that if you have a pending violent crime, and I don't know how this is viewed over there, they won't let you in.
Well, he didn't surrender his passport when he was arraigned. He didn't have to surrender his passport. Let's take a look at the arraignment right now. Would you like to see it?
Yes.
God. That thing is long. Is it the long version?
And there he is.
Look here.
One of the
hopefuls right there. Let me go ahead and hit play.
Cash Wheeler, we love you, Cash.
And let's see.
Fans.
Mr. Perry, boy, that was quick, wasn't it?
Coach, thank you so much for your help. Standing to my right is Mr. Wheeler, Daniel Wheeler. He turned himself in late last night on a warrant by the Orlando Police Department. The
Make-
charge was
make it bigger.
aggravated assault with a firearm. It's a third-degree felony. We are requesting that the court set bond in the amount of $2,500 with no contact with the alleged victims in the affidavit.
Yeah, so it's only a $2,500
of-
bond, so
My
it ain't
client,
much.
36
No,
years old,
not at
is a
all.
U.S. citizen.
No.
Has no prior record to my knowledge. He owns a home in Maitland, and so those are the reasons.
I mean, yeah, that's what I thought.
Give me just a second. I didn't get to see this.
You know what would have been cool though is at the end, even though that's the guy defending him, just you would have just short clothes on like Dutch Mantel used to do to people.
I don't think I haven't seen the affidavit.
Did you notice he's got a black eye, though? I don't know if that was from a match or what was going on.
That's probably from a
He
match.
does have a black
I would
eye.
hope so. Yeah.
You want to be heard on?
Because you know he's not going to take any shit from some of the guys there at the joint. He's not going to take that. He would throw down and defend himself.
He wasn't arrested. He turned himself in. He knew they were looking for him.
Yeah.
And he turned himself in.
Kudos.
But given that he has no prior history and does not know the victim,
That was minor.
He's got a clean record.
Yeah.
Hell, California, some places I go, you can take a gun, just wave it at anybody. No one gives a shit.
So essentially, what they say in this, and I'm not. Gonna, I won't bore everybody with the details. Let me go ahead and kill this.
But yeah, they
won't
said he
bore everybody with the
allegedly did it,
details.
right?
Allegedly, he did it. $2,500 cash bail, which he probably pulled out his debit card, and that was it.
Yeah.
And he's got to go and surrender all the firearms that he has at his house.
Yeah, I saw that
He
bullshit.
turns
I'm not
them
going to get
into
into
the
that.
court, and then whatever the verdict will be, whether it's in his favor or not, he'll get his firearms back. So that was the last thing that they talked about in that clip. You really didn't miss that much. He did have that little mouse right there, probably from a match. I don't think he threw down somebody walking out to his car, leaving the arena. You know.
Let's hit him with the big rig.
Get him. Give him a big rig.
So yeah, I saw that and I was like, man, here we go. That's not going to help the PR cause for what's going on with the war between Collision and Dynamite. But I hope nothing comes of it.
Right here is 100% right. Look at that guy.
Yeah, this confirms. Well, that and the new contract they got is what they're saying. I've heard that a million times. Is that the new contract? They're getting paid more, so they're going to win the third match. I could care less. Whatever. It's the Bucks. I have no interest in anything they do.
Right.
Thank you.
We gotta wash ourselves now. We gotta do a little washing here. We've been in AEW muck now for half an hour.
Yes.
Raw started, and the first thing I thought to myself and put down is, who the hell is JD? And I've heard the name, but I don't recall seeing this guy.
Here's the story. When NXT England, NXT UK was dissolved, they had all these people who were on the payroll. They released quite a bit, but the ones that they saw something in, they deemed as stars, they kept. Blair Davenport, JD McDonough, Pretty Deadly, who were on SmackDown, and one of them's hurt right now. That's why I haven't seen those guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else they kept. The Gallus faction of 3 guys.
Yeah.
Grizzled Young Veterans were on NXT UK, and they're now the Dyad, hooked up with Joe Gacy and Ava Raine. So they kept a lot of the people from NXT UK that they saw something in. Mostly women, believe it or not, they kept.
Yeah, I did see that.
The lady wrestlers in England, they're hardcore. They fight just as furiously as the guys, taking bumps and all that, and innovative moves and things of that nature. So that's where JD McDonough came from. He can cut a promo. He's a good-looking kid. Problem is, he's vertically challenged. He's only
yes, he is. I noticed that.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's about up to the ring steps, I think, total.
He's not that short, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
He's not an imposing figure, pal.
He needs a step stool, pal, to throw a guy in a camel clutch.
Damn it, dog.
But I did like the opening deal with him in the
Judgment Day.
Yeah, they were out there like, we don't need you to do us any favors. If we want you, we'll tell you we want you.
Yeah.
And then Sami Zayn came out, pronounced to beat the hell out of him, and here we go. We got a match, which I thought it was a pretty good match. Sami Zayn, I don't think gets a lot of credit for his matches, but he sells like $1 million, man.
He does.
When he's a baby face,
you guys like JD McDonough? You guys like him?
This was the first time I remember seeing him. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I've seen him on NXT, and he's a great wrestler.
Bobbles, you've seen everybody on NXT. You're a lone shark.
That's right.
I've said to a lot of bad stuff
Yeah,
on NXT, a lot of great
Candles,
stuff
bottles.
over the
Attaboy.
years. I will say Sami Zayn didn't need to win that match Monday.
You don't think he
should've
did?
He should have put him over.
I honestly think Sammy needed that win because he just hasn't been on TV very much as far as in wrestling matches and singles competition. I think that did him a lot of good, to be honest. JD can lose and not lose anything because he's just really coming on the scene, and his thing is with the Judgment Day, and we'll see. I think, eventually you'll see him turn on Finn Balor, and that might be where we go, but that's just a long-term booking.
Exactly where I think it's going. So months from now, exactly where I think it's going, right there.
Yeah.
The
He
turn.
beats Finn Balor. You got a big win there.
Yep.
I did see my girl Piper's back like a fucking freight train.
She's done nothing, dude. They just had her sitting in catering. And,
She did something this week. She knocked the shit out of that girl to the couch.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
Got
did.
my attention.
Let me tell you something. There was a little thing called the Mae Young Classic that they had a few years back. They
Yes,
had
I
two
remember
of them
this.
in NXT, and they showcased a lot of women from around the world that they were invited to participate in this. Not all of them were offered contracts. Some were. In fact, even Tessa Blanchard was offered a contract to sign with NXT, but she ruined it with her attitude in a locker room, and they reneged on the contract. They took it away from her and set her
I
back.
just
But
know
Piper Niven, they loved her in NXT. That's a favorite of Triple H's right there. Piper Niven.
I loved her because she came in and knocked that chick in the next week and it said, "I'm your freaking I'm your partner now. I'm your partner now." Took the belt and walked out like, "Bitch, I'm here. Let's go." I was like, "All right, I can get with this. I can get with this."
And Motor, let me ask you this question. I'm no fan. I was never a fan of Chelsea Green, but Chelsea Green has made me Mrs. Zack Ryder, by the way, Mrs. Zack Ryder. She married him.
Oh,
Chelsea Green has made me a fan with that. I like to speak to the manager type persona.
Yes, it's great. She's a Karen. She's a Karen.
He's a full-on
Fantastic,
Karen.
man.
I need to speak to an authority right now, please. I got to get this.
She told Adam Pearce the other day, "I'm going to speak to your manager." He's doing that. What?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
That was good.
that
But
was
the
good
Piper,
stuff. Very good.
I hadn't seen that girl in forever. And look, I want to say a little something about fat people, being a fat guy myself. I want more fat people back in wrestling, and I want big fat guys.
Yes.
I want like the 6'8" big fat guy that has a splash that when he hits it, you go, "I don't care if it's worked or not. That shit hurt. I don't want that. I don't want no part of that."
Well, they're
Guys
bringing him in, buddy.
Jerry Blackwell comes
Good.
back in the ring, man. Drop kick at 450 plus pounds. Boom. Big fat guys that move and will just crush you if you make the wrong move. I missed that too, Don. God damn it.
Bronson Reed in WWE. He's a Australian Samoan. Another guy who I think he was brought in from NXT UK, if I'm not mistaken. Bronson Reed is one of those fat guys who can fly. His finishing move is a splash off the top rope.
Exactly. One main gang type of guys. They're coming back. That's what we need.
Agreed.
So then Chad Gable came down, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That was like sort of what's next. Chad's getting over, man. He's getting over the whole shush thing. The shush thing's getting over. The Imperium came out next, but that seemed to go a little bit long for me. I thought they let that go a little bit long.
Well,
I
what do you think?
See, my thing is this. I'm a huge fan of Imperium and Gunther, and it did go a little out, but I'm in that boat now where I'm a fan, and I will always be a fan whether he goes heel or baby or whatever. You know what I mean? But like you said, Chad Gable, he is definitely getting the cheddar. He's getting the push, man. He's getting the freaking accolades that he needs now.
I like the fact they're letting Kaiser win a few matches, even through shenanigans. He's still winning a few matches.
Yes.
Which is a good
thing. Well, Giovanni didn't win, so that shit wouldn't happen.
Nah, Giovanni didn't win, unfortunately.
Nah.
But his time will come. Any one of those three guys you could give a belt to, and you'll be entertained by them defending it.
Am I the only one that
great
saw
matches? They're ring technicians.
Yes, they are. They are. And I like Imperium and I like where it's going, but it just seemed like they let Gunther talk a little bit too long. They got to limit that dude, man.
I think they're pushing Gunther to do his own promos, and he's doing a good job with the promos. It looks like he's actually having fun standing on that announce table, like George Washington on the bow of that boat crossing the Potomac and making a speech. And he looks fantastic. He sounds fantastic. And,
if this were different times, man, you guys understand because you watched it when I did. This was like 84, 85, 86. Like I said, and let's put Gunther and the Imperium in the same situation, but back then, the Foreign Menace persona would be so much different and so much more heat attractive. Let's put it that way. They've done things to those guys, whether it be attire or what they say, or maybe even hand gestures that would have made the crowds pissed off everywhere they went. Everywhere they went.
Absolutely. Dewan says Imperium needs to be booked on the main roster like they were in NXT. I agree. They were very, very formidable and intimidating in NXT. They've lost a little bit of that. They lost a little bit of that when they came into the WWE. Well, if Vince had his way, when Vince was there, when Gunther was first brought in, he was going to let him go. He was going to cut him.
I know.
That's not how touch Vince is.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get it.
You know what?
What's that?
I'll bet if he was a paralegal, he wouldn't be worried about it.
Female tag team act.
I'm telling you right now,
paralegals.
If you're a female wrestler in the WWE and you're worried about your job, change your gimmick to a paralegal. You have a job for life. That's what you got to do, girls. Get that new gig going, baby.
Damn it, Don.
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I'm Buffy, and we're going to serve you a warrant.
That is right. That is 100%.
I'd like to see your habeas corpus.
Come on in here.
Just me. That's what I do. Anyway, so next up we had Drew and Riddle. That's weird, right? That's weird.
That match got me. I was like, whoa, it was like trying to put a square peg in a round hole to me. Just didn't fit.
But it's one of those weird fits in wrestling that worked though. Yeah. Like it worked.
It did work.
They should call that tag team.
Oh, please tell me.
They should call that tag team the Sword and the Stoner.
I've seen that. That's great. That is so great. I love that.
And the Stoner.
The Sword and the Stoner. Hey,
and
bro.
Every time, so the butterflies and stuff that fly out of Riddle's ass, every time Drew swings that sword, it should be rainbows and lollipops and shit. Just make it completely idiocy.
I was knowing Riddle's history. I was thinking maybe roofies and quaaludes.
Hell yes. Back to the 80s we go.
Yep.
There you go.
Get to me, man. You got any loods, man? Come on.
Got any loods, man?
Got any loods, man?
So yeah, that they won. So there's that. Rhea Ripley had a match. So can we get the internet wrestling community to shut the hell up now that she doesn't wrestle enough? Can you guys shut up? Because this is how they should use her. She came out. She had she shot the girl up. She got a little bit of heat, and then wham, beat her ass. 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle. That's how it should be.
The opponent, Don? Did you like the opponent? Having Indy?
Yeah, I mean, Indy's not ready yet. I mean, she's exactly where she should be right now. You're not even going to be in that same ballpark as Rhea Ripley. She buried her. She moved along. It was a competitive little match. Move it along.
Well, when they called her up, when they called Indy Hartwell up, she blew her ankle out down at NXT. And winning the championship belt. She was the women's champ at NXT. And she blew her ankle out. And she possessed the belt when they had the draft and they called her up. So she had to relinquish the belt. She was in a walking boot from all the few times you did see her on camera. But Indy Hartwell can go. She's a hell of a female wrestler. Candice LeRae can go, but they really haven't utilized her.
But she ain't Rhea. Like, she ain't Rhea. You know what I'm saying? She ain't Rhea Ripley.
Not Rhea Ripley, no.
The Rhea Ripley
there, the Amazon battle there. The Amazon fight there is Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. That's the money match right there. And they're holding it off. They got it on pause right now. It's simmering. It's a pot on the stove that's simmering. And sooner or later, they're going to have to take the lid off. And when they
WrestleMania
do, it's going to be
guys, you
fantastic.
think, one of the big matches coming up.
She's got to. Well, you've got to think she's going to win Royal Rumble. You think she's got to win the Royal Rumble. That's just what I think.
Rodriguez?
Yeah, she's got to win the Rumble. But my question is, can Rodriguez have a good match with her? Because I've seen Rodriguez wrestle, and I don't know that she's on that level yet.
Sometimes she gets a little lost. Sometimes she does get a little lost in the ring. A lot of power moves.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you're not going to hit them power moves on Rhea Ripley, man. I mean, she's not a little girl. Like this, that's what I mean. Like sometimes everybody thinks those styles, it's going to be a great match because they're both big. Like, you couldn't get the Legion of Doom in the same ring with the Barbarian and another big guy. It's just not going to work that way.
Brick walls,
you know what I mean?
Brick walls, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just you can't. You've got to have two different dynamic wrestlers. The one that I love, and I still think it's a match of the year, in my opinion. And I'm going to say it because I'm not a big women's wrestling fan. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair was the match of the year. It was the match of the year. They tore the house down.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine Rhea Ripley wrestling somebody like Chyna in her prime nowadays. Imagine.
I think Rhea Ripley is much bigger than people think. I think she would have been as big or bigger than Chyna after she got off all the juice and stuff and got her jawline done and slimmed down some. That's just me.
Well, Chyna was lost in the ring a lot of times. I mean, she's trying to do power moves on people. The clotheslines, the body slams, and all that stuff.
The Jeff Jarrett, Chris Jericho shit will go down in my memory bank as the fuckery that it was forever.
It was horrible, but
it was god awful.
Chyna's outside of DX, Chyna's crowning moments were with Eddie Guerrero. When those two,
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. Yeah.
And so DeJuan Harris also says, I'd like to see Rhea Ripley versus Camille Brickhouse from the NWA. If you're not familiar with her, she is another 6'1" Amazon.
Big yeah.
Okay.
Big girl.
Well, I don't think they're going to let her go anytime soon. So there's that.
Well, she's making less than you would make at McDonald's.
Apparently, we need to go be flipping burgers to get that second income, baby. That's where I'm going. We finally got the Becky versus Trish match, and everybody was screaming about how dare you cut this from SummerSlam. And I don't think this was the same match they had planned for SummerSlam, but what it was, I didn't like. I wasn't enthralled with it. I didn't think it was very good. You get a double count out, and it wasn't really any heat involved in the double count out. It was just sort of there, man.
Right. Grade-wise, I'm giving that match a C+.
It stunk the joint up, I think. No one wants to boo Trish Stratus. That's what the whole thing boils down to. People finally remember her from the Attitude Era and from the Ruthless Aggression era of the mid-2000s. They remember Trish. Well, that's what they call it. That's what they call that era.
Is that not the dumbest damn name for an era in history? That is the dumbest name ever.
Lame. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that was
It was totally lame, man. It was
totally a toy line. It was a toy line. That's how much they billboarded that. I think they wanted to name a video game, Ruthless Aggression, but it never happened.
It sounds like a bad 80s hair band album. Here comes Rat with Ruthless Aggression, their newest, latest hit. Here we go, Johnny Bottles, take it away. Horse shit.
It is horse shit. Mm-hmm. Trish Stratus, nobody wants to boo her. They have fond memories of her being the only woman that could go back in the day in WWE. She
big fan of Trish.
Yeah, big fan back then. Nobody wants to boo her. So the booking of this whole thing is the shits. Becky Lynch deserves a little bit better than what she's getting. It should be a feud with Zoe Stark.
You know where it should have ended? So you had it perfect at Saudi Arabia, right? That ending was great. Yeah. That ending was great. Why not save Trish for SummerSlam or Survivor Series or whatever they were going to do next and have Trish interfere in the next match?
Yeah.
Versus still having this angle because you've got new heat from that match in Saudi Arabia. You've got a new opponent. Save Trish. You could have done so many different things.
Good point.
Zoe Stark's a great female wrestler.
She looks like it.
Yeah. She looks like she's not a pretty girl. She's a hardcore. She looks like she could really, if you gave her some lip, she'd smack the shit out of you. That's what she looks like.
Skilled.
And have no problem doing it.
I like the fact that she's not another, 5'4", long blonde headed girl with a little
Model.
shitty personality. Yeah, like
Yeah,
she
she's not
looks
a model.
She
Not a
looks the
diva.
part. So I
Yes.
like that. And they're saying now the cage match is going to be next. Like that's where we're going now. It's the blow off is going to be a cage match. A little bit of old school.
Can you
Would that
guys
be a payback?
for me, real quick, your opinion on female cage matches? I know it's a touchy subject with some people. I know it really is. I don't give a rat's ass to watch them. I don't. I can't. I just. It doesn't do anything for me. It's like watching the peanut vendor hug peanuts behind his back to the guy in the 8th aisle. It just doesn't do shit.
You got to have the right wrestlers in there, man, or it doesn't matter.
Right.
I did see the NXT cage match that Rhea Ripley and I think it was Gonzalez had back a long time ago. I can't remember, but that was pretty good.
That was
So that
that was all right.
You can do it. You can do it, but it's got to be the right two components. I think Trish Stratus can carry this off, and I know Becky Lynch can.
Mhm.
I don't want to see two girls bleeding all over each other. That's my biggest concern. I don't want to see that. I just don't.
You're not going to see that in the WWE. Women bleeding, by plan. You won't see that.
Well, Trish Stratus has had her beak busted enough to where you just don't know anymore. I mean, that thing's got to have a homing beacon on her.
See
Many
the
times
scar
she
tissue
smashed
around
that
her
thing.
nose too.
Yeah, dude, she's had that thing
Yes,
smashed 100 times. Lita did it. Chyna did it. I mean, that damn thing's a homing beacon. Hit here, bitch. Like, what are you doing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then we got to the closeout of the show on SmackDown, which was
Cody Rhodes.
Raw.
It ends in the brawl. Cody Rhodes wins the match, but nobody's going to remember about that. Sami Zayn went through a table. Am I right? He went through a table? Can we stop with the tables, man? Can we stop with the tables?
Can we stop with when your opponent, you threw him out of the ring and you're looking?
Yeah.
And you got your hands shaking like that. And then you start running and you bounce off of one side of the ring and dive through the ropes. Too many people do it.
I am so sick of the dive.
Sick of it.
Tired of it. Tired of that.
I can't. The end of the match, I was like, man, somebody else is going through a table. I don't give a shit. Somebody goes through a table on one of these shows every week. It's not a thing anymore.
No.
You've overdone it. You've overcooked it. Mr. Cornette has talked about it for years, and he's right.
Yep.
You've done it to the point now where I'm numb to it as a fan. It's no longer a spot that I need to see in my wrestling match.
How can I miss you if you don't go away?
I just do something else. So that was SmackDown. I mean, I'm sorry, Raw. Raw is Raw. Yeah.
Well, we did Raw. We did Dynamite.
Sing it, done.
About SmackDown.
Did we do Lacey Evans quitting, leaving? She's gone.
We did not.
Lacey Evans is gone.
Bye-bye.
And she chose not to sign a contract.
She did. Well, dude, you can't get hosed over so many times before you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to go try something else. And that's somebody I truly do. I do hope she goes to AEW. She's got a look. She's got an attitude. She's got a story to tell. I feel like she could do something in that organization to make the women's division at least palpable for me.
Yeah.
Because right now, the women's division of that company is dog shit.
Hey, thank you, Brother Don. If that woman went over there, I think she would have the sands and the fortitude if she was given the control to put some of them chicks in line over there, man. Because you're right. The AEW women's division, Jesus H, you can't even watch it. I can't,
No, it's terrible.
We know the fans they can because we see them all the time on Twitter trying to come after us with the little caricatures. But no, can't watch that stuff, man. She would be a great asset to AEW. Great asset.
The greatest women's matches you could see on AEW television right now are on Collision. A Willow Nightingale, I was never a fan of. A Willow Nightingale can go. A Willow Nightingale, given the chance, can cut a promo, be likable, and I'm starting to enjoy Willow Nightingale's matches. She wrestled Diamante, which is just a nameless, faceless Hispanic wrestler. I guess she's wrestles primarily down in Mexico. They signed her, and Diamante is aligned with Mercedes Martinez, formerly of the WWE and NXT. They cut her. They let her go. And that bloodbath they did a couple of years ago when they fired like 50 people all one shot in one weekend.
Right.
It's Mercedes Martinez and Diamante versus the faction of Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. Now, Statlander, she's the TBS champion.
Yes, she is. Yes, the
Yes.
Ho champion. The Ho champion.
Yes. So,
And the reason I say that, have you noticed the belt? Have you ever seen the meme that showed it when it first came out? If you looked at the TBS championship, it looked like it said Ho instead of TBS.
no,
If you look, yeah, I'll have to send that to you later. It looks like it says Ho, and I was like, oh shit,
wow,
that's not going to go well in the locker room.
I remember when Cargill had that belt. She said TBS stands for That Bitchy Show. So,
Yeah. And so, who is Johnny? I was going to ask you this. Who's the chick that's lost her mind? She just lost a title. The name's slipping me right now.
Tony Storm.
Her backstage shit's getting real weird.
I like the fact that she's actually showing a personality.
She is. It's getting weird, but I like it's a weird. I like it, but it's weird. It's weird, man.
It's the Lacey Evans Southern Belle gimmick with a British accent.
Oh,
and I like the fact when she gets pissed off at the interviewer, she goes off camera, and the interviewer's saying something about her, and she throws a shoe at the interviewer.
Yeah, it's insane. I've enjoyed because I saw her last week and I saw her this past week, and I was like, all right, there's something here. I don't know how they got here, but it's fun to watch. I'm enjoying it, so keep it up, everybody. One part of your show that's worth this shit as long as I don't see pockets. For God's sakes, keep that son of a bitch off.
Dawn, come on.
90,000. 90,000.
Hang on a second.
All right.
Lacey
but I'm anxious about this.
One more thing about Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans, her and her husband run a construction company.
A big one.
And she just opened up a diner, a cafe. So she's running the cafe and the diner. The husband's running the construction company. She's got 2 little girls. And I'm sure she wants to, instead of being on the road and working out of a bus, for the WWE, because she had the kids on the road with her, she's putting the oldest one in school. And I guess when the littlest one, the one she just had a while back, 2 years ago, when that one's old enough to go to school, she could put that kid in school. She's got WWE money. I'm sure she, with the merchandising and all that stuff, she did well for herself to invest it in a cafe and a construction company. So, hey, she's not hurting. And when the kids are a little older, don't be surprised if she joins AEW or goes back to the WWE. But they did her wrong, I think, with all the gimmick changes. She's changed heel to face so many times.
I don't get it.
I don't understand it either.
I'm a Southern Belle. I'm a military veteran. Yep. Now I've got problems with my father when I was a kid. Now I'm a heel military veteran. What are you doing, man? Pick a lane, dude. You're going to get a DUI with your character changes. You change it so much.
That was the old man doing that.
Yeah.
Vince loved her.
You know what she should have done? She should have been a paralegal.
She could have signed them fucking in.
That should have been her freaking gimmick. She should have come out with a briefcase and thrown it at Vince McMahon every weekend.
That would have been hilarious.
It would have been great.
That would have
WrestleMania, Johnny Bottles. You and I were talking. This week. Motorhead, you were not in this little conversation. You had some Vince on the side going, you had to do. Johnny Bottles and I were talking the night before they went on sale. And I said, Bottles, they're going to sell half these tickets tomorrow. And he said, nah, I think maybe 40,000. I said, Johnny, mark it on the spot. They're going to sell half these tickets in one day. He said, well, what does it hold? I said, 160,000. He said, there's no way they're selling 80,000 tickets. I was wrong, Johnny Bottles. Tell the audience what they sold.
90,000.
Bam!
In one night. One day.
Sale on one day.
90,000 tickets sold for real motor, for real, in one day. Not like Wembley Stadium.
Are we seeing the surge? Are we seeing that?
It's back.
People have been talking about, just like from the Attitude Era when it just got bigger and shit. Pretty soon we're going to see these guys on like TV Guide magazines and everything else like we were seeing back then, the late 90s, early 2000s. Is this the surge now, guys?
We're back. We're back in something. It's not as big as that era. The dollar's inflated, but we got something going on with wrestling right now in main culture.
To sell that many tickets like that, Priest, wow, I am impressed.
They'd have to take the plunge and go back to the PG-13 era, where they were edgy. They were like a Jerry Springer show for a lot of things, and they'd have to go and do that. They'd have to go that route to bring more adults in to watch the shows like they were doing. I mean, people were. They were when Monday Night Football would have a commercial on, they would click over to WWE Raw or at the time WWF and back again. And they didn't know what to record. You didn't have the technology back then. They didn't have DVRs.
No, you were just flipping like a maniac.
Or you had a VHS tape rolling in the machine.
Yeah.
And that's what you'd have to do. Everybody watched football live, but they went back and watched the tapes of Raw and WCW at the time also. So. Yeah.
So all the AEW guys been beating their chest about it. I got news for you. They sold 90,000 tickets in a day. Not 4 months. They did it in a day, and it's only going to go up from there. Yeah, and there's 2 nights. There's 2 nights, and that's how many were sold for the 2-night gig. So it's a hell of an outing, man.
People have asked, why didn't the WWE ever go to Wembley? And noted pro wrestling analyst Dave Meltzer, who
Don's getting attendance.
I'm not doing this shit.
Dave's at your door, isn't he?
I'm not doing it.
Get him.
Noted pro wrestling analyst Dave Meltzer has said on Twitter, and I will show this to you right now.
God damn it,
lay it on us, baby. Come on, let's see it.
He said they didn't try Wembley because they don't believe they can. Nobody turns away a guaranteed 50,000 ticket show, let alone 80,000. And that was to answer Ed's question to Dave Meltzer. I guess Ed's not blocked like the three of us are. Why doesn't WWE run more shows at Wembley? Why don't they? Don?
Does Dave Meltzer even believe the shit he's writing up anymore? Like, is it
noted 40-year pro wrestling analyst?
He's a fan, and he's a mark at this point. And they call wrestling fans like us marks, right? They call us marks. Dave, if the WWE decided to put a big show on over there, they'd sell out in a day. Not 3 months. They can run Wembley whenever they want. They just sold 90,000 tickets overnight in America, where they run a show every goddamn week. In America, where they have a PLE every week. If you're going to sit on your little throne as your little journalist that you claim to be and tell people they couldn't sell out Wembley, suck my ass.
You're right. Motor, what do you think?
We got to suck my ass for Meltzer. I got to drink to that one.
Yes, sir. Piece of
go.
Trash.
Suck my. I think WWE, just like Don said, can do whatever the hell they want. They can say where they're going to go and when they're going to go and put whoever's going to be on that card, and they're going to sell, man. They're going to sell bigger stuff because it's WWE still. It's not AW. It's not the secondary promotion, and they still are a secondary promotion. No matter how many times AEW fans try to pump it up, it's like, oh, no, they're just as big as WWE. Bullshit, you guys are not. You guys still aren't close. So, Don, kudos to that goddamn comment because you're exactly right. They could go wherever they wanted and sell as many tickets as they need to sell, man.
I think the Wembley ticket sales, I think he bought 2/3 of that arena at a discounted rate. He's got the money to do it. He could spend $5 a seat if he wanted to.
How many Jacksonville Jaguars people are going to be there watching that show, huh?
They got 2 soccer teams. They own 2 soccer teams over in Great Britain.
That's right.
So I'm sure he's got good relationships with the people that run Wembley Stadium, and he can come in and say, how much of a discounted rate will you give me for buying 60,000 tickets? And every AEW orange Cheeto-stained fingered neckbeard is probably sitting in his basement right now if he's listening to this. Sweating through his Clearasil and his orange Xbox controller that's laying at his
it's completely orange at this point.
His gnarled corn chip toenailed feet, saying,
Mom, I need some more root beer. Give me some root beer. Yeah.
It's not right. AEW can sell it. He didn't buy all those tickets. It's not right.
Come on now.
I
got something for you, Don. I got something for you right now. Hang on a second. I'm going to show you what the crowd looked like at Collision. The show that was on last night.
Is this one with CM Punk? Is this the picture with CM Punk after he get the worst go to sleep in history?
It's not like that at all, buddy. Hang on a second.
Okay.
I just blew up a picture. Let me share the screen. And yes, I'm sharing.
What do we got going here?
Here's
Let's see this photo you got. Oh, it's
that's what I thought.
There we go. There it is.
Here's the hard camera.
For anybody on a podcast just listening to us, they're showing the hard cam picture area where they're actually at, and they've got three entire sections blank. Well, 4. Sorry, they've got 4 entire areas completely empty. Why do they keep running these 10,000 seat arenas if they can only sell 4,500 tickets? I don't understand.
Oh, it's just the
Money
shit.
can buy you many things, but not success. Sorry,
Dave
dude.
Meltzer going to tell me they
There's the
can't
other view.
sell out Wembley. Get the hell out of
Look
here.
at that. Look at that.
There's the other view of the arena. This is all empty over here on this left side of the screen.
Yep, I see it.
Hardly anyone here on this section. And everyone's moved basically opposite the hard camera.
Because they've got to get them on TV because they have to. I mean, that's where they sell. So I get it. Look, I understand why they do the ticket sales. If you've got a 4,500 to 5,000 seat people in attendance, do that. But stop running these big ass buildings, dude. Like, there's no harm in going to a 5,000 seat stadium or little spot show and doing it there. Like, stop.
Jeff Jarrett is in charge of live events.
Oh,
Motorhead,
shut up.
Jeff Jarrett runs the live events.
They're still doing those?
really?
Yeah.
Well,
I thought they'd stopped. I hadn't seen them in forever. I hadn't heard about them.
They're not doing a lot. They may do a televised show and they may do a one-off show.
so. With that
somewhere.
said, Johnny, is Double J getting more people at the live events than the pre-tape and the dark shows?
Shit.
No.
They-
They're in the mud. As the
Thank
kids
you.
in the IWC say, they're in the mud, pal. The live
Yeah.
events are in the mud.
Okay.
They-
All right.
They're in the witness protection program. They hoard them off the bus and send them in the show.
Oh. Look who's here. Look who's here.
is it?
You got to see this.
Oh,
Hang on
shit.
a second.
Do we have a guest?
We do.
No, we don't. What the hell is this?
That's Missy Beefcake. Just
Oh, dear God.
she just crawled out of the Tampa Bay. There she is.
Oh,
Asking
dear.
2 young lovers for a light. There she goes.
That's a little
I'm
better
kidding.
than the last clip we saw, you guys. I don't know where you got that one, but that one's quite a bit better.
Still flapping them? Yep, she's flapping them lips, and I don't mean the ones up top.
Yep, she sure is.
What?
You heard what I said. I
Have we
said
turned
it again.
PG-13? This show's turned PG-13.
Yeah.
All
We're in the ruthless aggression era, baby.
that's it.
So let's talk about SmackDown real quick because there was not a lot to cover, right? There just wasn't. Felt
It
like
was
a
the Edge
filler
show.
show. Yeah, it was the Edge show, and it was all about Edge. So I'm going to be honest, as a wrestling fan and Edge, I've been critical of him since he's come back. I have enjoyed very little to nothing he's done. By God, this match was amazing. I was impressed from start to finish. Sheamus was the right opponent. I didn't know if he was going to be, but man, that shit was great. Here it is, Dave. 5 stars.
I'm going to agree with you 100% all the way around without having to say a lot. To see both those guys go at it like that, I was very impressed with that match. Very impressed with it.
No bloodline, no Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And
Just a
the
good
show still did a
wrestling
hell of a
match.
number. Hell of a number, Motorhead. What was it, 2.3?
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I think it was
believe
2.3 million they did.
Yeah.
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 And Edge was in the main event, a guy who's
Yeah.
like semi-retired. And
Oh, he's going to AEW now. You saw that, right? All the
That's where it was.
AEW fans say he's
I
going
saw
to AEW.
that too. And what are the chances, guys? Because
Zero.
Gangrel's looking good. What are the chances the Brood comes back together?
0. 0.5.
they're saying he's going to be at All In Wembley.
he's gonna be there, and it's gonna be great.
He
Him and
won't be
Christian are
there.
gonna be a tag
Not
team.
a chance. Because
No.
I've heard the same thing too. Some of these AEW, they're going to get the Brood back together. No, they're not.
When's
going.
All In? When's All In at Wembley? When is it?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Okay, Edge's contract runs out in September. He will not be at All In. He won't be in Wembley Stadium, not even as a guest. His last match that he was contracted for, you have a certain amount of matches that you're contracted for and a certain amount of appearances. His last match that he was contracted for was Friday night.
Was it really? I didn't know that part.
Now, if they want to use him to appear on camera again, they can, because he's still contracted until the end of September. That's what he runs. No non-compete, none of that.
Yeah.
But he's not going to go to AEW.
No, why the hell would he go to the minor leagues? Makes no sense. He just had his grand finale in Toronto in front of his hometown fans. His kids were there. His wife is there. He wrestled a guy he never wrestled. He was friends with off. I tell you what, they're friends behind the scenes. Bullshit in that match. No, sir. I didn't think they liked each other at all. That was phenomenal. That's the best thing Edge has done since he's been back. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad he's walking away on his own terms.
Me too.
5 stars.
Didn't retire him or leave. The ring didn't make him leave. He left on his own, and that was cool. For a guy with his history and what he's done, happy for him, dude. Happy.
He's walking into a nice, sweet gig on the Disney Channel.
He is.
Yes.
Here comes the money.
Percy Jackson. And the Olympians is the name of the show on the Disney
I know
Channel.
it.
He plays Ares, the god of war, on that show. December 20th, I believe, is when the first episode airs on the Disney Channel. So, I mean, he's got that. He's a SAG member, Screen Actors Guild. If he gets hurt, he's got health benefits covered through the Screen Actors Guild. So it's a sweet gig. That's why a lot of these guys do movies, so they can get the health and welfare benefits from the Screen Actors Guild.
Don, aren't you a SAC member? For the SAC.
I'm a teabag member.
That's what I thought. Good, righteous, excellent.
Oh man!
I'll tell you what. Speaking of a SAC, let's take a look at this.
Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
You want to see a SAC? Here's a SAC.
What are we looking at here, Bottles? Oh, no, we're going to talk about this because I'm done talking wrestling, but we can talk about this. This we can talk about.
Helga, a Ukrainian milkmaid from Kiev. That's what she looks like.
For those that don't know, we're looking at who here, Johnny Bottles? What are we looking at here?
We're looking at Tamara Sitch. At one point in time, she was the most downloaded woman on the internet in the days of AOL and everything else. This is the former Sunny from the WWE.
And she's been in prison for a while now, right? Like, I don't think she got out on bond.
She's not going to see the light of day.
Ever again in her life.
Ever again. She's looking at 25 years in jail.
25, yeah.
Not jail, prison. She's going to prison.
Prison. 25 years.
And
it's over, man.
Passes, you guys, has she had? How many free passes has she had, basically?
I think this was like her 3rd or 4th DUI now.
Yeah.
And probably, yeah. And she pled no contest.
What a shame. Damn. You know what?
She pled no contest. And look, it's the next thing is just a sentencing phase.
Yeah.
Where they say guilty, and that's it. You're done. She killed a guy.
Or you drink.
Yeah, she killed a guy. It just wasn't a little.
I mean, Ron Simmons with the run in here. Damn.
Damn. That's right.
Damn.
I don't know, man. So I feel bad for, you can take that down, Johnny. It's making me depressed, dude. Jesus Christ. Wrestling's hard enough to watch sometimes it is without her. I'm not talking about Collision from last night. I don't know if you got, I watched very little. I saw the,
not much.
I saw the CM Punk go to sleep moment with Samoa Joe. So clearly that's the match of building too. I didn't hear anything else about Collision. I don't feel like it was a big show this week. Yeah. So that's all I've got today. I know Motorhead, what do you got?
I have something I would like to plug. It's not a book. Okay. This is something a little different this week. This happens to be a made-for-TV movie from 1977 with Alex Karros called Mad Bull.
What the hell is that?
If you can ever find it, go for it. Made-for-TV movie, 1977. You guys know Winston Zeddemore from Ghostbusters?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in here. Do you remember the Doritos guy? The big fat Doritos guy that used to do the commercial? Come on, he had the voice like this. He's in there too. Cool movie for what it was. And it shows like
Motorhead.
the life of a pro wrestler who is getting into a new relationship, and he's got to try to explain to his new woman that what he's doing in the ring is not real. But it is. It's not.
Motorhead,
Shoot.
when did you start? You started smoking them left-handed cigarettes when you were like 8.
No. No. We're talking maybe
Dude, that is the wildest. I've never heard of this. I have to find this now. What kind of a left field when you should be playing catcher moment did we just have? I had no idea this was coming.
This is actually the movie that led to him getting the starring role in Webster. Alex Karras was the star in Webster. Yeah.
And Alex Karras actually trained for a couple years with real pro wrestlers.
Did he train with Vern Gagne?
Yes, he did. He trained with Vern, and he trained with Crusher. Crusher at the end of his career, he did. So he trained with
Wasn't Alex Karras Mongo in Blazing Saddles?
Yes.
He was Mongo.
Only pawn in Game of Life. Yes, he was.
A great movie.
Quote. Great quote.
Great movie that they can't show on television nowadays.
God knows.
That's right.
Kids out there, if you've never seen Blazing Saddles, go see what the world used to look like when we could actually celebrate our differences and make fun of them.
And people would laugh. Yes.
Wasn't Cleavon Little the star of that movie?
Yes, he was.
And Gene Wilder. And Cleavon Little put a gun to his own head.
Stop. Page Rocky 5. We're not doing it, but it's there.
That's all I got, gentlemen, for my end of it. I'm going to do a new book next week, but I wanted to plug that VHS because I found it and watched it again and went, wow. So the younger cats might have a hard time with it because it's made for TV and it's got the cheesy, kind of late 70s.
I can see Motorhead. 10-year-old Motorhead smoking dope, watching this, thinking he just saw the greatest thing in his life.
This is fantastic.
Yes, my dad had a van and had a bitchin' 8-track player we used to listen to.
This is amazing, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
What do you got for me, Bottles?
We were, I'm throwing this out there to the SCN crowd and whoever else may be watching this. Motorhead and I have kicked around the idea of doing a classic rock podcast. We were just curious as to how that would be received, perceived, and conceived here in this channel, in this on this platform. And one of the things that I saw recently, and I'm going to present this on the screen, we recover things like this, not just reviews of albums from the past that we love, that we grew up listening to, and that we love, and not just looking at classic rock artists now.
Well,
we
what
would
you
do
got
something
here?
like we would talk about. This is classic rock account on Twitter, and Billboard magazine has recently published their top 10 rock frontmen of all time.
Ooh, all right. I want it on this. Yeah, if we do this, I want it
bigger. Well, yeah, you I'll
need to get some Blue Chew for that, pal.
Yes. This is Classic Rock and Picks, a great account.
Who they got as number 1? I can't see it because I'm old as shit. And that's
I'll read them for you right now. Number 10, Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses.
I can tell you right now, move him up.
Move him up. Exactly. Bono from U2.
Move his ass off the list.
Off the list. I agree there. George Clinton. He's the
off
lead
the
singer
list.
and songwriter from
off the list. He's gone.
Well, it's not rock, so I can't see how.
I don't care. He's gone.
Well, if he's gone, then I know this next person is going to be gone. Debbie Harry came in at number 7.
Okay, I will throw this list in the goddamn river.
David Byrne, lead singer of the Talking Heads.
Who? Okay, somebody was on a 60s acid flashback making this list.
Once you move up past Kurt Cobain at number 5, a lead singer and songwriter and guitarist for Nirvana, you're going to get up to the meat of the whole thing. Robert Plant.
Here we go.
Robert Plant should be higher on this list, I think. Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, he's top 3. He's top 3, I think. I think he's top 3.
Stevie Nicks shouldn't be anywhere near this list.
Nope.
He's number 2. And Mick Jagger is number 1. 80-year-old. He just turned 80 last week.
Hold on. Did we? So we're not even going to. Robert. Did I miss the Zeppelin part of this?
Number 4.
Number 4,
Okay.
Robert Plant.
Okay.
Number 4.
Okay. All right. We'll have to talk
Paul
about
Rogers.
this later. All right.
Paul
like
Rogers
this.
from Bad Company.
I like that. I like that.
He's not there.
Bon Scott from AC/DC.
Hey, there was something
Bob
I
Seger.
forgot.
Not there.
And there's something I forgot about that we got to cover.
No
What's that?
David Lee Roth either.
I
David
totally
Lee
forgot about it, and Mr. Harris reminded me.
Mhm.
Asuka. We can close out a couple of minutes on this. We can close the show on this. Asuka. Did you guys see the shit she went through? And thank you, Mr. Harris, for reminding me. But did you see that?
Yes.
That's incredible what she had to battle as a Japanese woman coming to America and what she had to do in her own culture to get noticed. Like, she was banned by their major media outlets. They hated her.
Yes.
What the hell, man? I read her threads this past week. I was mesmerized by what I saw. It's like this poor woman who cannot, from what I understand, she can't speak English. So this was clearly an interpreter.
She can. She can. It's broken English, but she can speak English. She can navigate. She used to have a channel called Kana-chan.
Well, whatever she's doing, whoever it was, this was. Hold on, this was not her.
Videos.
She wasn't doing the YouTube. I mean, the Twitter feed. She wasn't doing this. That's for sure. She had somebody doing this for her.
Possibly.
If you read it. Yeah, if you read it, there's no way she was doing this. This was so well spoken, man. This was so amazing in what she said. Her battle to come to America and wrestle, her battle to actually step on that damn stage, her battle to fight a media that didn't want her there. Man, I tip my hat to the woman. Like, that's amazing. That's an incredible story.
One of the greatest female wrestlers working today is Asuka. She was Kana over in Japan. She also worked as Kana the Murder Clown, wearing the same makeup that she wears now in WWE. And she had to fight to get that presentation in WWE now, wearing the makeup and all that stuff and spitting the mist like crazy as she's doing now. More so
the great Muta.
The great
like Muta.
Right there.
That's true. That's true.
She's been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you know, I don't know that she gets enough credit for what she's done in the WWE since she's come here, but she is what women wrestling should be, in my opinion. I mean, she is. I mean, if you're going to be a foreign menace, she's got all the goods. She's great. She's crazy. She has the look, everything about it, man. I enjoy her. You know, I love the girl now. Like, I'm going to pull for this woman now every time I see her just because I know what her backstory was now. I had no idea she battled all that.
In Vince McMahon's WWE, would you ever think that a female wrestler, let alone a female champion, would ever do promos saying just one line of English and the rest is all Japanese? No one ready for Asuka.
Never.
Ha, 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 ha. And her going off on people in Japanese, I dig it, man. They ought to have subtitles at the bottom of the screen just so we can crack up with what she's actually saying.
Dig it.
But
if they're going to do it, make the shit up like it's crazy as hell.
Like
don't even translate it for real. Yeah. Don't even have it be the real translation. Have it be some crazy off-the-cuff shit.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I burnt your house down.
Do you remember Kairi Sane when she was in the WWE? She came out with a pirate's wheel.
Yes.
She was dressed like a pirate. Kairi Sane was Asuka's tag team partner for a while there when they held the tag team title belts. She's coming back in September to the WWE. So I can see her teaming up with Asuka again, or possibly turning heel and teaming with Io Sky. But who knows what they're going to do? Who knows?
Who knows? But I just want to, I know we had touched on that. We had a lot of stuff going on. Hey, I want to thank everybody that tuned in today, that listened, share it with your friends. We try to be entertaining. We try to keep it lighthearted. We're not perfect. We're not exact on everything. We might get a thing here, wrong here, there, but we're just trying to be fans, man. Like, that's what we are. We're fans. I'm not in the business. I don't really particularly care if I ever meet these guys. I'm just giving you what I see as a fan's opinion, man. And that's all I want to do.
Amen.
The Cuban assassin says we're terrible.
Yeah, that guy could suck my ass too.
Folks, if you like the Squared Circle Wrestling Podcast, the Squared Circle Maniacs Wrestling Podcast, I'm sorry, I've had too many Diet Cokes. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We thank you for your support. Let me tell you guys something. When I moved down to Florida, I didn't have any friends down here. I've only been down here since March. But I decided to go on Twitter. And I met a great group of guys, the Squared Circle Maniacs. These two men right here and all you other guys out there who aren't on camera with me. I love you guys. The support that you show us is fantastic, above and beyond what we would ever expect. And the camaraderie that we have, we can all joke around and poke fun at each other and poke fun at the wrestling business and just current events and things like that. I think it's fantastic. So please subscribe, hit the thumbs up. It helps the YouTube algorithm place us in people's search bars. So with that being said, we will catch you all next time. Anything else anybody wants to add?
That's it. Peace out.
We're out.
Until next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.